Materialism, a doctrine that the only or the highest values or objectives lie in material well-being and in the furtherance of material progress. Or in simpler and more modern terms, the focus and pursuit of material goods usually involving expensive brand names. It has existed in the world for centuries ever since the beginning of mass production. And today, the effects of materialism can be seen throughout society and its surroundings. Materialism, varied effects, influence all people from every religion, race, and culture. It negatively affects the environment and people psychologically, especially during the holidays. Yet, materialism drives the economy, which has contributed to the development of America's powerful economy.
Although there is no clear beginning of materialism, the recognition of the shifting importance to material goods was noted by philosophers such as Francis Bacon and René Descartes during the 16th century. From Bacon and Descartes, various others like George Berkeley, an Irish bishop who claimed himself an enemy of materialism, and Immanuel Kant, would follow in the discussion of people's perception of goods. Even though the recognition of materialism stems back centuries ago, many claim that the exponential rise of materialism and its effects boomed when mass production began during the 19th century. Also, the unique characteristics of migrant people has vastly affected the rise of materialism in the United States.
During the holidays, materialism is fueled by low prices and the surplus of deals. Instead of spending time with family, many people are going out to catch last-minute deals ranging from 40% to even maybe 70% off. An example of this is Black Friday. In the recent years, Black Friday has changed from starting on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, to starting on the evening of Thanksgiving. This caused many Thanksgiving traditions to change. Instead of having a dinner with relatives and showing appreciation for each other, many people are beginning to abandon having a traditional dinner and instead are lining up in front of stores just to get cheaper deals. The same can be said for other holidays.
Materialism is one of the leading causes of unhappiness in first world countries because it only leads to short-term happiness. For example, one plausible cause of materialism lies deep within human beings themselves. Darwin's theory of evolution states that humans refer back to the idea of survival of the fittest. Therefore, people continuously buy things in order to feel more secure. Another cause of materialism may be inner discontent. A recent article states that humans are materialistic because there is a psychological discord in their heads. They believe that they are isolated in this world, and the only way to narrow the gap of separation between themselves and the real world is by acquiring certain products. This kind of happiness compensates for the happiness within people.
Recent studies show that there might actually be an alternative to materialism. Since many people in today's society are often stuck on their daily materialistic lives, they do not really have time to express themselves through talking or acts of kindness. Gratitude might be an alternative to materialism because it gives a different kind of happiness, self-accomplishment. Gratitude may have the power to change social cognition, motivation, and social relationships in the ways that are likely to reduce materialistic strivings and their harmful effects on psychological well-being. The giver and the receiver both benefit from it. Another psychological effect on materialism is mania. America was built on generations of frugality and scanty conditions and are now living with extraordinary luxury and affluence are not psychologically adapt, causing people to experience mania. As more and more people began entering the consumer material goods business, they began to become destructively competitive. People's judgment and object reasoning is gone, and instead greed, irritability, and devious behaviors replaces. People go through social confusion.
Materialism is beneficial to the economy for various reasons, and so we turn to an expert on the topic of the economy, Mr. Chin, to learn an in-depth economic perspective of materialism.
Is the effect of materialism beneficial to the economy? How and why?
It is beneficial because our economy is built on people buying things. So it's really, really important that people keep on purchasing new products, because if people don't purchase new products, our economy will not grow. So in that effect, it's really important for people to keep on consuming. As a matter of fact, 75-80% of our economy is driven by consumer purchases. So it is really critical for our economy for people to keep on buying products.
What are the long-term effects on the economy?
Well, everyone wants to have a better standard of living. So in order to get a better standard of living, people will think of new and creative ways to create products and to make it cheaper and make it better, thus attracting more people. Apple made its iPhone, but it's in the 6th or about to be 7th iteration of the iPhone. So more people want to buy the newer and better product. So it does motivate people to create better things for others to consume.
With the United States economy becoming one of the most powerful in the world, how does materialism and consumerism correlate to this increase?
Well, it's nice to have so much stuff, but it's important for people to have the means to afford them. So obviously, the United States being a wealthy nation, relatively decent distribution of wealth. It's not. The United States is becoming increasingly unequal in wealth distribution. So it might be a problem when the people in the lower socioeconomic status might not be able to afford new goods, because eventually the really, really wealthy people run out of stuff to buy.
How does materialism affect people's view of money?
Well, if you think about it, money really doesn't do anything. Money is just paper. So when people think, oh, I want money, they're not really thinking about the paper that they can have. They're thinking about the products that they can be able to purchase and the life they can enjoy. So when it comes to money and materialism and the economy, people want to have a better life. So obviously, people will always be motivated to have better lifestyle. And in order to achieve that, you're going to have a higher level of income and wealth.
What are your own personal feelings about materialism and the economy? What does materialism mean to you?
Well, I think simple materialism is people just want to gather more items and toys and make their life better. It's actually quite normal, but I think the problem is people make the mistake of equating more material possessions equal to more happiness. And I think that's where the breakdown happens, because just because you have more things doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a happier life. Though the research has proved that when you are extremely poor, it's very difficult to have a happy life.
Does the level of materialism differ in the social classes?
I really can't speak to that because I'm kind of like in one class, the not too rich, because I'm a public school teacher.
The increase in materialism has caused people to not only spend more money, but also harm the environment around them as well. Mass production has caused factories to produce toxic emissions that are detrimental to the environment. Also, with more people that have materialistic mindsets, the advertising industry has seen a need to increase the amount of advertisements produced. Advertisements have increased not only on television and other electronic forms of media, but also on traditional paper advertisements. Newspapers have increased from 40% to 65% in advertisements, and as a result, this increase has caused major deforestation to increase as well.
Even with all this knowledge, we still want to discover the people's perspective on materialism and the effects of it. So we traveled to our local high school to ask for the people's opinion.
What is your definition of materialism?
My definition is it's probably people pursuit for like expensive brands and a lot of money.
Do you think people's surroundings play a part in their materialistic tendencies?
Yes, because if you were to live in like a very rich place, you want to fit in, and fitting in is like a big part of society.
Do you know what materialism is, and what is your definition of it?
Well, for materialism, I feel like materialism is when you have big, well-known brands such as Apple products, where, like, for instance, the iPhone came out, everyone started buying it, and the reputation built up, and everyone's all like, oh, we must have this. So I feel like materialism is more like what's in demand and what people are saying is good and what people are saying that they have, and everyone follows it.
Okay. What brands do you prefer to buy and why?
What brands do I prefer to buy? As for brands, of course, I look for.
Keep going.
As for brands, of course, I look for whatever's reliable. I do a lot of research, even for low-end brands that are not known at all. If they have other reviews on how well they are, I would also buy unknown brands over well-known brands.
If the product were a generic brand, would you buy it and why?
Say again?
If the product were a generic brand, would you buy it and why?
I would buy generic brands due to the fact that of what people say. If they've tried it, used it, and they give good reviews on it, then I would completely put my trust in it as well.
Do you think you're materialistic?
I wouldn't say so, because of the fact that I pretty much would just buy anything that suits my needs.
Do you think people's surroundings play a part in their materialistic tendencies?
Rephrase the question again.
Do you think people's surroundings play a part in their materialistic tendencies?
I think society is what brings materialism.
Do you think you are materialistic?
Sort of, but not like brand-wise, but like things. But yeah.
Do you think people's surroundings play a part in their materialistic tendencies?
Yeah, I think if like people are given what they want all the time, then they're more materialistic.
Do you think people's surroundings play a part in their materialistic tendencies?
Yes, like in America, everyone wants to have the best thing, like the new Yeezys or whatever. But then in like other countries that you don't have these things, it's more like family based. It's not really based on material.
Do materials make you happier?
Yes, because it's fun to have the things that you want.
Many do not realize the effects of materialism on themselves and on others. Many claim that they are not materialistic. However, in this brand-soaked world with shifted importance relating material wealth to success and happiness, can anyone say that he or she is not materialistic and consumeristic? Because the effects are so prevalent in today's modern world, every consumer should be educated on what materialism is and how it affects people and their surroundings. Although the impact of materialism is still debated today, for now, it seems as if materialism adversely affects people's mentality, aids in the destruction of the environment, but advantageously promotes economic pursuits.